Hello and welcome to the Foundations Classroom. If you're watching this, you're likely new here, or at least new to how we approach the topic of purpose, energy, and clearing. So before we go any further, we want to take a few minutes to properly introduce ourselves and explain how we work. I'm Marvin Schneider. I'm the host and co-founder of Reclaim Your Purpose, and I'm here with my wife and partner in this work, world-renowned energy healer, Jen Ward.
Hi, it's really good to have you here. And I want to start by saying something important right away, because people often come into spaces like this with assumptions. What we do here is not mystical, dramatic, or about fixing you. It's actually very grounded.
Yes, that grounding piece really matters. This community exists as an orientation point. It's not a destination. It's not a place where everything happens all at once. But it is a place where you can start to understand why you might feel disconnected from your purpose, and then how energy plays a role in reclaiming your purpose. So, Jen, let's start there. When we say energy, what do we actually mean?
Well, when I talk about energy, I'm not talking about something abstract or vague. Energy has form, it's got charge, and it has patterns. Everything in the universe is energy. What you perceive with your physical senses as part of the incarnated life is just a fraction of the total energetic imprint of your eternal soul and its interactions with other eternal souls. With that said, every experience you've ever had leaves an energetic imprint, not just emotionally or mentally, but energetically. Those imprints influence how you perceive, respond, and move through life, often without you ever consciously being aware of it.
And Jen, you're an energy healer. You perceive in energy. You see, so to speak, the energetic imprints that are blocking people from experiencing their own empowerment. And what's perhaps more important is that you are able to move stagnant energy to remove these energetic blockages. It's this combination that makes you an energy healer, and a pretty unique one at that.
Yes. For as long as I can remember, I've been able to perceive an energy as easily and as effortlessly as most people walk and breathe. And I've learned to move energy with my intentions and by connecting my higher self to the flux of universal consciousness. I've developed and honed these skills over many, many lifetimes. Let's just say this lifetime is not my first rodeo as an energy healer with this skill set.
So right off the bat, Jen, you touched on the idea of eternal souls, incarnated lives, past lives, and energetic imprints, connecting those lives like yarn in a tapestry. I know a lot of people might be blown away by these ideas. Some might have never thought about these ideas before. And let's be honest, there's even going to be some that think that this is all, frankly, bullshit.
That's right. Look, I know the idea of past lives and reincarnation might be a bit challenging for some people, especially those who have a strong identity with a certain religion. If you're in this camp, you are welcome to think about these engrams as frequencies that are stored in your ancestral DNA. They are largely hidden and unseen by most people, but they have a strong bearing on your beliefs, behaviors, and experiences.
So will people benefit from your work if they don't believe in energy or energy healing or past lives?
Yes, you don't have to believe in past lives for this to work. You can think you're just working out generational issues. People don't need any particular spiritual belief to benefit from energy healing work. That might be true with faith healing, but what I do isn't faith healing at all. It's about what I know from higher vantage point. The healing techniques that I've invented work at the energetic level regardless of what you consciously believe. You don't have to change your belief systems for it to work.
How is that even possible?
Because energy doesn't care about your beliefs, just like gravity works whether you believe in it or not. Energetic patterns and blocks exist and affect you whether you acknowledge them or not. I've worked with complete skeptics who came to me as a last resort. They didn't believe in any of this, but they felt the shifts almost immediately.
So people don't need to change their whole worldview to benefit from this?
Not at all. They just need to be open to the possibility that there's more going on than conventional medicine and psychology can address. Reclaiming your purpose is about working with energetic imprints, not forcing change, not bypassing emotion, but gently clearing interferences so the system can return to balance.
And that's an important distinction, isn't it? Because a lot of people hear energy healing and immediately think it's about being healed by someone or something else.
Exactly. That's not how this works. What I do is perceive where energy is blocked, distorted, or held in charge that doesn't belong, and then support the clearing of that interference. What emerges after that is always the person's own truth, not mine.
And this is where my role comes in as well. My role is to help create structure and pacing and safety around the work. It's to make sure people aren't overwhelmed or destabilized or try to jump ahead before they're ready. That's why this foundational classroom exists. It's here to help you understand the framework of where we're coming from before you try and apply anything to yourself.
Because insight without context can actually create more confusion. People often sense something is off, but they don't have the language or framework to understand. So they assume it's a mindset problem, a motivation issue, or a personality flaw. In reality, it's often interference that has accumulated over lifetimes and across lifetimes.
And just to reiterate, when we talk about lifetimes, past lives, or Akashic records in this community, we're doing so to provide context. We're not trying to force you to adopt a particular belief system.
Not at all. I see what I see, and we don't apologize for it. Think of the Akashic record as stored experience, information that hasn't resolved yet. You don't need to believe in past lives for this to be relevant. You only need to notice that some patterns don't make sense given your current life story. When something doesn't originate here, effort won't resolve it. Clearing will.
And that brings us back to the topic of purpose, because one of the biggest misunderstandings people have is that purpose is something you need to find or figure out.
Purpose is known by the higher self. What's usually missing is access to it, because interference creates separation between the conscious self and the deeper knowing. When the interference clears, purpose doesn't arrive with fireworks, it arrives quietly, calmly, obviously.
Which is why we're very deliberate about what this community is and what, in fact, it isn't. This is not a place for free healing. It's not a place for diagnoses. And it's not a place for deep personal processing in the community feed. It is a place to learn how to observe patterns, how to understand interference, and how to recognize readiness.
Yes, and readiness feels calm, not urgent. If you ever feel pressured, desperate, or frantic to move forward, that's not higher self timing. That's interference asking to be cleared.
So, as you move through the foundation videos, we encourage you to listen slowly. You don't need to agree with everything. You don't need to adopt new language. You don't need to decide anything right now at all. Just notice what resonates, notice what brings relief, notice what feels quieter inside, and ask questions.
You're not here to become someone else. You're here to remove what isn't you, and that's a very different process.
Yep, we're really glad you're here. Take your time with the foundations, let them orient you, and trust that clarity will arrive when the interference is ready to lift.
Welcome, and thank you for being here.
We look forward to catching you again next time. Bye for now.
Bye for now.